Our guest today is Vince Sorace, CEO of Kucho, a high-grade copper zinc project based in northern British Columbia. He joins us now at the VRIC. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So tell us about Kucho here. It's like a new name on the horizon.
Yeah, Kucho's, it was a project that was kind of off the market for a long time. It was owned by Capstone, and it didn't quite meet their the plans moving forward. So they kind of had it sitting in their treasure chest or basement for probably 8 years, and so a lot of people forgot about it.
So Vince, what attracted you to it?
We were out looking for a good advanced stage asset for better parts of a year, and we were focusing on the copper side. I did like the copper markets. What I saw was going to be happening in the future, so we were looking for something in that space. And the first thing that attracted us to Kucho, as it should anybody, was grade. Kucho's yielding around 3% copper equivalent, just north of 2% copper. So you start paying attention when you see projects with that kind of grade. We did a deeper look, and we saw a number of other aspects of the project that got us really excited. Scalability. We saw a project that would be a high margin, so robust economics, low capital requirements.
Safe jurisdiction, and on that as well, we did a lot of homework into where in BC it was, because BC typically has a lot of naysayers with respect to permitting in First Nations, but we got really lucky, and Kucho's in a very pro-mining First Nations jurisdiction, and we've had nothing but great relationships and success on that front as well. So you're right now completing the feasibility study, correct?
Correct.
So take us through, what's the game plan for 2019 after that?
So our strategy with Kucho was always the quickest path to completing feasibility study, getting through the permitting process, and into production. So 2018, we got into the field. We acquired this thing in December 2017. So very quickly into the field. We spent about $16 million last year, and that was all the requirements or data collection to feed into the feasibility study. So everything from geotechnical drilling to metallurgical drilling to re-engaging on our baseline studies to also resource expansion drilling. So all that happened in 2018. The results of all that work now are going to feed into our feasibility study, which is due out in the next 6 months or so. So
Vince, if I had you in a room full of investors right now, and you had to make the case for Kucho, what's the upside potential?
The upside potential for Kucho is the value proposition here. It is, like I said, one of these kind of high margin, low capital requirements projects. The upside potential specifically right now is, we're in a pretty devastated equity market. I would argue, as probably most would, we're trading way under value. We're probably trading at about a $17 million market cap right now, and we're not, that value is not being reflected. So I do think that the re-rate points for Kucho and the value add over the next 6 months for Kucho are going to be things like, we'll be putting out a new resource estimate in the coming number of weeks or month. We'll be putting out all the results from last year's work. Metallurgical studies will be coming out. We're going to be actually filing our project description in the next couple of weeks as well. So that gets us into the EA and permitting process for this year, and then ultimately the feasibility study.
You're going to have your hands tied for the next few months. Finally, Vince, let me get your outlook on copper. Are you bullish?
I am bullish. There isn't a corporate or an analyst or a strategic that I've talked to in the last year that isn't on the same page with respect to, they see continuation with respect to demand, and that can be driven from a number of different places, and a lot of noise around EVs and renewables and all of that stuff. But more importantly, they're seeing a waning supply. So this deficit side with respect to the copper markets, which they're forecasting this year, next year, and increasing throughout the years, that combination makes fundamentally for higher copper prices. There's a lot of noise going on right now in politics with respect to the US and China, especially the trade wars, and those trade wars are again putting a lot of noise economic slowdowns and stuff like that. So I think that could actually be one of the very first catalysts. If the U.S. and China sort out, this trade war aspect, you could probably see copper take a big bump pretty quick, and then kind of the fundamentals, I think, over the next couple of years will continue driving that price.
We'll definitely be tracking it, and I wish you continued success with the company. Best of luck trading on the TSXV as ticker symbol KC. Check it out, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching. We'll have much more for you on Kitco.com.